All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We have, as you can see, a special guest today. Molly Levine is here from my NHD. So welcome, Molly. You could unmute yourself.
Hey there, guys. Thank you for allowing me to join you today. I really appreciate it, Shannon. I'm just happy to be here, and I love your office. So thank you for allowing me to join you today.
You're welcome. So what's new in my NHD world?
Well, I mean, the way that we work, we haven't changed that much except for the fact that the sales reps are all working from home because we're, staying home like we're supposed to. But our customer service team, which generates our reports, has always worked remote. They all work from home. We don't have a central office. So we are business as usual on that end. But what I can tell you is I'm just trying to be a resource for people. So if you know of anybody who is in a situation where they can't get toilet paper or they can't get flour, reach out to me. My husband is a grocery store manager. So I really do have the hookup. So I'm here to help. Obviously, I can't do everyone's grocery shopping. I could never put that on him. But if you are in a situation where you or someone that is unable to get something they truly need just to live their life, reach out to me. I'm happy to be a resource that way. I have shifted the way that I am going about my days. Everyone knows I sell my NHD reports. They start at $74.95. You can go to mynhd.com, view our reports, sample report, and order online there. But that's not really the focus of what I'm doing these days. I'm really just trying to encourage and support the agents and the community at large. I have a couple of tips. Can I share?
Yes, please.
Okay. So number one, routine is everything. So I can't say enough that I really, and these aren't even necessarily my original thoughts. I've been on about 90 to 100 Zoom calls in the last few weeks. So I listened to a lot of smart people, and this is what the same things I keep hearing over and over. So I'm going to surmise this into about 15 seconds. Number one, routine is so important. You got to get up at the same time, got to put clothes on, all the things you would normally do. You got to keep doing those things, because I think when all of this subsides, it's going to be very busy for everyone in the real estate world. So you want to, keep your pace. Two, I'm trying to make at least 50 touches a day. And I would think that that's totally attainable. It does not have to be a 30-minute phone call. I think text messages are great for that, reaching out to your sphere of influence and just saying, hey, I know, we're all going through a really interesting and challenging time, and I'm here for you and I care about you. And I mean, that's from the heart. And I think that's really where, as salespeople, our mindset should be. We should become the helpers in our community. And just keep it personal and real. It's not really about, hey guys, we're the world leader in natural hazard disclosure. It's really more about, I'm here for you. I'm part of your community too. And I just try to support people any way I can. And my final thought is that if you have not read Who Moved My Cheese in the last year, I would recommend, Shannon's got a copy.
Anybody want to borrow it? I got it.
It's very short. You'll blow through it in, just a few hours, most likely. It's very short. It's very poignant. And I think that the cheese has moved right now. It might move back to where it was before. It might not. So I think, as a person who has survived, that's silly, but who's been through the full cycle of the market. I started working in the real estate industry in 2005, as I'm sure many of you have been as long or longer. You got to move with the cheese. So that's my little hot tip of the day.
I agree with you 100%. And, we've been hearing, eventually we will see some foreclosures come, and And maybe, I don't think we'll have short sales, but foreclosures, possibly people lose their jobs long enough. And so again, it's like, okay, let's put that hat back on. Remember, for those of us who were here during that day, we got to reevaluate, okay, how did we do that again? And so, yeah, we're constantly moving with the market. And I've also heard a lot of people, not a lot, but some of the speakers that I've been on say that they're kind of working with buyers right now. So they're shifting where they're normally a listing agent, they're kind of a buyer's agent right now. For those buyers that are out there, really, most of them are ready to go. I mean, it's the normal springtime market for buyers who truly need to buy. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
to our meeting. I appreciate you. Let's talk about something good. I know we have a lot of good news in the office in the last week. I'm going to not speak because I want the people who have good news to go ahead and say what it is. So who has good news this week?
I do.
Yay!
I've got one should close today. It would have closed yesterday, but the lender sent the check out with the wrong spelling. So it'll close today. And then my listing in Menifee, we went into escrow Friday afternoon and just had the inspections done yesterday, termite and home inspection, and the appraisal is today.
Fantastic. So you were on the market less than a week. Would you say that?
Yeah, less than a week, 6 days.
How many
Yep.
showings did you have, Kim?
Two. One, the buyer came up from San Diego. The agent didn't have a Supra, so I met them at the house and, worked. I showed the house, and they're very interested. It's a VA buyer, and wore the mask and gloves and wiped everything down before I left. Just was really careful about it, and it was just the buyer's agent, the two buyers, and myself in the house. So it can be done. Just just be careful. And they're out there. They're ready to go.
Absolutely. And I spoke to your buyer's agent. I've been kind of calling everybody on the other side saying, hey, thank you so much. And I appreciate your hard work. And she's amazing. She said that she's never been busier in her business. She's got 7 buyers she's working with. And something to think about, I feel like, for all of us is, the job security with these buyers. Let's think about who's got essential workers that are buying right now. Those are the good buyers right now.
I showed another buyer property up in Wildemar yesterday. He's got the money. He's been planning on doing it as rent. He's renting now until August. So he's needs to buy something.
Awesome. Who else has good news? I'm going to tattle on some of you if you don't unmute yourself.
I've got one coming up in Prince Valley. I've got a photographer coming on the 21st, and we're going live on the 24th. It's single story, granite counters, nice laminate floors, swimming pool, spa. It'll probably be $479, 2320 square feet.
Oh, there was an agent at the association meeting yesterday. I think she was from San Diego County looking for something about that in that situation. I might have to reach out to her and tell her to contact you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Awesome. What else? All right.
I was reaching out to a lot of people in my community with email, and I got 2 possible buyer referrals.
That's awesome, Gabe.
A friend of those people. I don't know, if it'll work out, but they're giving them my number and email and all that. So something.
That's great news. Everything is great news. I'm going to tattle on Veronica Osuna. I think she's on the meeting here. So Veronica, I think, was the first one. Veronica, I'm going to unmute you. Are you there, Veronica?
I am. I just don't want you guys to see me because I'm like doing my makeup. I look horrible.
So Veronica's good news, I will say, is she unfortunately had a buyer back out, but then you go ahead and tell the story, Veronica.
And you tell it better, Shannon.
Oh gosh. Okay, so Veronica had a buyer back out of a purchase on one of her listings, and it was because of COVID. They were scared that they wouldn't have enough business, etc. But I want to say, what, 3-4 days later, the
Yes.
buyer came back begging to
Begging.
get back into escrow and close in 15 days.
Yes.
So that's really good news. So congratulations on that, pulling it back together. And then we had, this week, we had 2 new listings, one for Kathy and one for Nancy. Kathy's opening escrow today. She just listed it on Monday. Nancy listed hers on Monday and has an offer already today. So we've got a lot of things going on. So if we can get listings right now, I have a feeling they're going to sell really, really fast. So congratulations to those people. Anybody else have any other good news they want to share?
Shannon, I have a buyer, and they actually, excuse me, they live up in Oregon, but they want a home down here. They only wanted to go, like, initially he said 4, but he's looking at 425. Preferably a single story, and at least 2 bedrooms, or 2 bedrooms and a den would be sufficient. They started looking, they're all kind of all over the place, and what can I say? But if anybody has a single story in that price range in preferably Temecula, because there's going to be some commuting to San Diego, let me know.
That's awesome. Great news. And I just want to remind everybody, be safe with your showings, of course. It doesn't seem like it's been a problem using that PEDS form at all. Everybody seems to be forthcoming with it for the most part. I know we've had one showing that went wrong, it sounds like. But for the most part, it's good. And I also feel like asking your buyer's agents, like, for that approval letter is so important right now. You don't want to, you're risking your health to show property. We want to only have qualified buyers right now. And the other thing this is not my idea, but I didn't even think about it, is we should, in our automatic drips to our buyers, be including all the hold properties, because those properties, we know they're most likely on hold because of the COVID-19 right now. And if you have a buyer who can look through the photos, and maybe you can get in touch with the listing agent to do a virtual walkthrough, you might be able to put a deal together without even walking through a house right now, even if it's on hold. So take a look at those properties on hold. Anybody have any other buyers that they want to share with us?
Shannon, it's Don. How you doing?
Great.
If you guys have anybody that wants to rent, I have 2 rentals coming up. One is already available in Vintage Hills, and one in Rancho Santa Margarita coming up at the end of the month. So if you guys have anybody, let me know.
Oh, that one on Rancho Santa Margarita has already been a year? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. And I just want to remind you guys, especially property managers, there are some COVID forms that have been created for you. There's also some webinars on it. And we've been getting reimbursement checks here to the branch coming from our Nevada office. And so they're just sitting in your mailboxes. I just want to make sure you come in and check your mailbox and pick up those reimbursement checks. Okay. Anybody else before I move on?
Well, pardon me, Gail and I have a buyer that we've had from our Belchain Loop property, and she didn't get the property, but she's continuing to ask us, almost, we have another listing coming up in May in the higher end wine country. But if anybody has a listing, they preferably want a single story. They want at least 5 bedrooms. They're willing to go 2 million and a little above. They want to move. They don't have to sell anything. They're ready to come down to Temecula area. She contacted us again this morning. I have to contact one of the properties that we hopefully will get in May. But if anybody else has a property that they know of or that might be coming up, let us know. And then we also have a rental coming up May 1st in the Griffith Park area of Murrieta. So it's a single family home, but it's kind of one of the row houses. It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-story, small yard, 2-car attached garage, probably going to go in the $1,900 range. So if anybody has a tenant that they know, we're probably going to have to do some work on it. We're going to take a look at it this weekend, but it'll be ready by May 1st. So let us know.
Awesome. I saw a big house on hold yesterday. It was 1.8 million out in wine country. Take a look at the holds in that area. Maybe it might match and maybe you can connect.
Perfect. Thank you.
I've been keeping track. I just kind of look every day on the 24-hour feed to see, you know, what's gone to hold, what's come active every day. So it's kind of interesting that it doesn't seem to be slowing a ton. Do we want, let's see, let's move on. I want to talk about, you guys got my email this morning and you heard me talk about last week, the agent insurance. Mark Stark mentioned this at our sales rally back in March. He, now with the COVID, well, it was the beginning of March, who would have thought that just from that day to now, all of this would have happened. But he asked the person who was putting this all together to hurry up and speed it up, because we have agents who definitely need some help with insurance. And so now it's become available. So I want to talk about that. Let me see. I can't see. Okay. So first, let me just say that there's 2 options for the health plan. One option, as you'll read on the Q&A, is related to an age bracket. That particular plan is not available in California. So don't even read about that one at all. But there is a second one that's available, and it offers 3 different plans from both Blue Cross and Cigna. Now, these plans are underwritten, and they're underwritten, of course, with this insurance company. So it's not like Obamacare. You do have to qualify. And I will say it's probably more like major medical, if you will. This is like emergency insurance. If you have underlying conditions, they will have to review them and then decide on your premium at that point. Major conditions, I would say like cancer and things like that, will not be approved. So how do we go about applying for this? Since insurance is obviously a very private situation, I have nothing to do with it except for explain what I learned yesterday. You will need to call the 800 number and talk to the representatives, and then maybe you will be able to get qualified and be able to get the cost of your plan. So there's an 800 number on the Q&A that you can call in starting today. They are on the East Coast, so keep in mind if you call, you know, later in the day, you won't get anybody. What else? Here's basically how it goes. I have a couple of overviews. Can you guys see this? Yeah, okay. So this is the overview of the plans that are going to be available to our agents in California. And again, it's once you're qualified, you'll be able to decide which type of plan it is. And so each one of them has different deductibles and things like that. Now, what I don't know is I don't know pricing, because this is not like you getting insurance through a company who subsidizes it. This is not subsidized in any way, but the company that's bringing it to us has been vetted with Berkshire Hathaway and been working with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services for over 18 years. So we know it's a good company. Now, the thing with this particular plan is, like I said, there's these 3 options for Blue Shield, and then there's 3 options with Cigna. The way that they are able to get our agents into a group plan is for you to join a union. And I know we kind of already are in a union, you know, we're the National Association of Realtors, but this union is actually something that you have to join separately. And so for you to join that union, it is $20 a month for you to be part of that. And it includes life insurance because you're part of the union. And then the other thing to know is that you will need to get an EIN number, which is free. And we have a slide deck to show you how to do that. And there is a $125 setup fee. Now, as far as when does this plan go into place, if you were to jump on the 800 number today and get approved and start, make your first payment or whatever that one-time setup fee by the 18th, which is this Friday, you can start as soon as May 1st. If you miss the cutoff for that, then the policy will start June 1st. So what else? Oh, and then the last part of the insurance is, I know hopefully I shared last week with you guys that the National Association of Realtors rolled out, and today's the last day to sign up, the telemed, which they're paying for 2 months for all of us to be part of. After that 2 months expires, it's $7.50. This policy also has telemed, and it's $8.50 a month, and it could be added to any plan you already have, and it also covers labs. So something to think about on that. So I'm going to kind of open it up to questions. If you guys have questions, please ask me. Let's see.
Hey Shannon, this is Adrian.
Yeah.
I know you don't know all the details, but did they give you any idea how this compares, like, to being on the car insurance, through the benefit store or whatever?
No, he didn't say anything. Like, we tried to, as managers, to get some pricing out, and he just said, it really depends on your health and your pre-existing conditions. If you're very healthy and you have no pre-existing conditions, it's going to be very favorable to you, but he didn't compare it. He did say that there were a couple of options that work with the health savings plans that you could have, and that would make it obviously more affordable. And we know with insurance, and I hate talking about insurance, just hate it. But, if you have a higher deductible, then obviously your per month payment is less. So, but no, we didn't say that. I will send you guys a copy of this particular screen, just because it's got the different options, but there's no pricing on it. So it'll give you kind of an idea of what will be offered, but no pricing, if that helps. Any other questions? Okay. Nope. Let me check. Nobody else is asking questions. Okay. So the other thing to know, and this isn't super important to you guys, but if you think of anybody who might be wanting to join our team, as far as an agent wise, this is something that they could decide if they need insurance, they can actually try to qualify prior to joining our team, which is pretty cool, I thought. Let's see. Okay, so if you find out that going through the qualifying stage is the last thing I'll say. If you go through the qualifying stage by going through that 800 number, they will, if you don't qualify with this plan, they will help you work your way through the Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare stuff, if you haven't got that already going on. So I can't say that how happy I am that our company is bringing this to our agents. It's very special, and there are other real estate companies who've been trying to put this together, but it's kind of unheard of to have health care for insurance. So there you go. That's it. Let's talk about our challenge. Did you guys see our sales challenge come out yesterday? Anybody watch Facebook with Mark yesterday? No? Anybody? Okay. So it's what I do all day. Yesterday, Mark rolled out a sales challenge, and it is a challenge by office, because heaven forbid if we had to go up against some of these humongous teams in Nevada, I don't think it would be any fun for us. So this challenge is basically to help you get your business mind going on a weekly basis. So it's a point system, and you guys know how we work this because we just ended the football challenge not too long ago. So this is an on your honor challenge, and there's 5 points for the virtual novice item. So if you can you see my screen? You guys?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. So the virtual novice section is super easy, send out, and this starts today. Today is day 1. So if you did anything yesterday, doesn't count. So the novice is sending out an e-newsletter from your VAC. Join Tuesday or Thursday company meeting via Facebook Live, so tomorrow. Join weekly office business meetings via Zoom or Google. You guys get 5 points for just being here today. Complete 3 hours of continuing education. You get 1 point per 3 hours completed. That doesn't make sense. It says 5 points each, but okay. I didn't make the rules. Create a Zoom account, which you probably already have all done because you're on this every week with me. Find accountability partner, make plans to check in every day, or if you have one, make sure you are checking in every day. Create a daily schedule to stay productive, just like what Molly said. And attend virtual real estate success classes with Rick. Attend virtual Berkshire Hathaway marketing classes, or attend a virtual weekly sales meeting. I think they already said that. So 5 points for each of those. Definitely doable, right? Then we get to the intermediate, which is contact 10 personal contacts a week. So that's pretty easy. That's just like 2 a day via phone call, Zoom call, or Google Hangout. So no texting, like live voice time here. Add 5 names to your database. That's going to be a real challenge at this time, but that would be really good if you guys can continue to add to your database. Create 3 organic social media posts in 1 week. And here's something I want to say to that. I think that right now, I know we have the great tools through the Resource Center, and Riz Media auto-populates those Facebook posts, but I don't think right now is a time to be letting those go automatically. Because I think that when we're in normal times and those business posts go out, that makes sense. You know, we've got a little bit of here's some personal stuff and here's some business posts. But right now, I think we need to turn it off and make something more personable about what's happening with the state of the market right now, or something about how you're dealing with the market right now. So my opinion, but I think we should be turning those Riz Media ones off for right now. I turned mine off about a month ago because I wasn't actually posting in between on my business page. It was just one after another of the same type of post, and you could see I wasn't even paying attention. So I could see that my readership was going down because I wasn't even there to respond either. So you guys, just my thoughts. Anyway, create a Facebook business page, Instagram business profile, a LinkedIn profile, or Google My Business. Stay positive. Oh, you get 15 points for staying positive? Okay. Share how you're still working your business from home. So you can share that on Facebook. Add your buyers into buy side. So important right now because the buy side is going to be really helpful for when we have those sellers. And add your sellers' email into AdWorks. So we have been having some training on AdWorks. I have a feeling that not all of us are using it to its full capacity. So please, when you have a listing and you see that email come, go to AdWorks, put your client's email address in there. If nothing else, put your own email address in there so that you see the report. And I guarantee you, when you see the report, you're going to be pleasantly surprised and you're going to want your seller to see it. So take a look at that. So then the big ones are 20 points each. So number 1, the sale of a home. I'm going to say that means closing. The closing sale of a home, whether you're on the listing side or the buyer's side. And 20 more points if you utilize our affiliates, title, escrow, or mortgage. 20 more points if you create or schedule a virtual listing presentation with a client. I'm gonna guess if you have any coming up, Jill. There you go. Host a virtual open house on Facebook. If you get a new listing, which is not a relist and not your personal property, we'll give you 20 points for that. Create a property tour of a listing, load it to your YouTube page, your Facebook business page, or Instagram. And then, of course, we have Videolicious. So if nothing else, do that training with Chris and learn how to use Videolicious. Create a Zillow 3D home tour. It's free. Or just read business building, professional development, or personal development books and share an idea with everyone on our internal Berkshire Hathaway Facebook network page. Any questions? No? Okay, I could only see 3 of you at a time, so I'm counting on Jody and Adrian to say yes or no. Okay, so what do you win? So we made sure that you're going to stay safe at home, so you're going to win food. The winners will be announced on May 15th. The virtual novices will earn $50 in Grubhub money. Intermediate will earn $75, and experts will earn $200 in Grubhub. And I assume, this is Mark's contest, not mine, that it's going to be first, second, third. And then we do have your scorecards. So the way that you're going to work this, the scorecard's broken into 2 different sides. You can do one side or the other each week. But on Tuesday night or before our meeting on Wednesday, you can fill in for the previous week, send me the date you did it and what the points are, and then I'll calculate the points on a weekly basis. So it's Wednesday through Tuesday. Any questions? Kind of easy, just like what we did before.
Hey, Shannon, I have a question, not exactly about the contest, but about Videolicious. Is that free?
About the what?
Videolicious.
Yeah, Videolicious is free. And so how you get to it is through our resource center. And then you'll go to the marketing section, and there's a teeny tiny little bar that says Videolicious. You have to sign up through there. You can't just go to the app. You can't just go to the website, because then they will want to charge you. So no, it's free for all Berkshire Hathaway agents.
Okay, thanks.
All right, I had, if there's no other questions, I had one of our agents ask us about, I want to show you. Let me see. Oops, let's refresh that. All right, can you guys see that I'm on the VAC here?
No, you're still on the other page.
Okay, so let me fix this. How about now?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so on the VAC, we've got some things that the marketing department has been adding for you. And so I just want to remind you or show you where they all are in case you've been asking or wondering, where are people getting these great pieces. So the first thing I want to say is when you get into the Virtual Agent Center, you're going to go over to Resources, and you're going to click on the Marketing section. And there's social media and blogs. Okay, so first and foremost, if you haven't been catching the Facebook events with Mark and Rick, there's a link directly to their Facebook profile pages, and you can ask to be their friend, and they will accept you right away. Then the second section is there's a new crisis communication series, and these are all pieces that you can post on Instagram and Facebook and social media. So there's all different kinds. They're already sized perfectly. They're already images, so they work. The next thing, the next section is Zoom background photos. And so I tried to use one this morning. It didn't work great. Like I see, Adrian, yours looks great. I don't know how. I was disappearing into my background. But if you want to have a Berkshire Hathaway background, there's some really cool pieces in here that the marketing department's already put together for you. So I like.
Can I tell you a tip I think helps? Is the simpler the background behind you is. then it can figure out where you are.
Really? Because
So the
I
real
think it's my
background,
computer. Like this one might be good.
yeah, but the real, no, I mean, the real background behind me is very simple. So it can pick me out.
That's what it is. Because when I was trying it this morning, it was seeing the reflection of the glass behind me and everything that was on my bookshelf, and so kind of disappeared.
And the
So
other thing that we've tried, if you have two people, it really doesn't work. It can't pick out two people. That's like when Marianne and Paul were doing it. Marianne, I don't know if you guys could see it. I don't know if she's on, but it was pretty funny
I think
because
she is on.
one of them would disappear. And that happened when I was doing that also. So really you have to be one person.
Got it. And then the other great piece, and this was specifically why I came here, is the virtual home buying program. I know I've seen other companies show, you know, how they can work virtually, but this piece is already created for you. And I'm going to change my share here real quick. It kind of looks like this. And it just talks about all the ways how we can work with buyers virtually. Now, I haven't seen one created for sellers, but it's would be very similar to this. So I'm going to ask Maria about putting one together for sellers. But this, again, is already ready for you to share on your social media. And then, where am I? Sure. Okay. What else? Okay. Any questions on that? And I have one last thing I want to share with you guys. It's about that clear cooperation policy. It's not fun stuff. And amongst all this other crap that we're going through with the COVID, we're going to have some changes. And I mentioned it a few weeks ago. We're going to have some changes starting May 1st with our MLS. So let me change my share again. Okay, can everybody see that? Okay, so the new clear cooperation policy is basically so that we no longer have people having a listing on a coming soon without it being posted in the MLS. That's basically it. So everybody will know what is coming soon, but not yet ready to show, and it will all be posted on the MLS. So the one big rule change right now is the National Association of Realtors decided for everybody, I guess, that instead of 2 business days loading your listings in the MLS, beginning May 1st, you have 1 business day to load it, okay? Business days, Monday through Friday, okay? So if you take it on Saturday, on Monday, you're gonna need to load it by then. So this is just a reminder of, what is marketing? Marketing is everything. Marketing is talking in our office meetings. Marketing is putting it on Zillow or Realtor.com. Obviously doing open houses, doing any kind of flyers. That is considered marketing. If you're marketing a property, it should be available to show, okay? So right now the current policy is you sign a listing contract, within 2 business days from the contract, you put it into the MLS as active. And if you don't put it into the MLS as active, you submit a listing exclusion form saying it will go into the MLS as active on this day, okay? The new process will be the seller signs a listing contract and the listing broker has 2 days from the listing contract date to input the listing into the MLS as either registered, which we'll talk about in a minute, coming soon, or active. And within 1 business day of marketing the property, the listing broker must ensure that the listing is in the coming soon or active status. So it doesn't mean you can't take a listing and then your sellers are still working on the property, because that's what we're going to call the new term registered. Okay, so they'll be registered while they're working on their house. But if it's going to be marketed, it's either going to be coming soon or active. Okay. All right, so here's what the
Shannon, I have a
Yeah.
question on that. So say, for instance, like my listing, we post dated it so it can go on active May 1st or before if we change it. But so as of right now, if we would have dated it for today's date, and because they're waiting for the estate company to come and clear everything out, could I have it listed as registered?
Yeah, and so you're not going to see these. You're not going to see these new statuses show up in the MLS until May. So you're not even going to be considered. So Danny, if your listing shows the start date of the listing as May 1st, as of the rules right now, you're not marketing it or anything. It's just a start day of May 1st, and it will go active May 1st. But if it changes, then we'll have to talk again about how to do registering it, or is it coming soon or something like that.
Okay.
So you can see the differences in statuses here. So registered means there's no marketing. It's not displayed in the MLS. There's no commission. There's no days on market. There's no distribution through the MLS to the syndicated sites. And there's no showings by the listing broker. So absolutely nothing. It's basically what I said. Your clients are working on fixing it up, and that's all it is. So to register a property, you just need the address, the listing contract date, the price, the expiration, and then the marketing start date, which would normally be the start date of the listing itself, where it will be marketed. A coming soon listing means marketing is allowed, it is displayed in the MLS, there is commission offered, there's no days on market, it's limited to distribution through the MLS, but there's no showings, and it's only allowed to be in coming soon for 21 days. Okay. And these rules will we still have a couple of weeks before it starts, so they might still be evolving, but this is as of like yesterday. So, and then active, as we know, you can, marketing is allowed, it's in the MLS, there is commission, days on market are counting, and it's on the full syndication of all the places where it goes, and showings are allowed. Okay, any questions on that so far?
On the coming soon status, does that require photos?
That's a good question. Probably, I would say you're going to need at least one, as usual, to get started on the coming soon. And that might be a good point. You know, if you don't want to really market it fully yet because you're waiting for the photos, that might be a good time to say, you know, it's a coming soon, but here's the first photo and you took it with your cell phone or whatever, and here's the details, but we can't show it yet. I want you, you know, because maybe you want to wait till the photos drop in.
Shannon, on the registered, it says showings only to listing broker client. So does that mean we could do like a caravan on a registered?
I don't know. Okay. I feel like that should not be allowed.
Well, it's kind of conflicting with the coming soon where you have no showings.
Exactly.
You can register it and you can still show it.
Right.
But it says no marketing.
Right. We'll definitely have to ask that question. And there's a whole page on this on CR MLS. So I'll ask that question.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, so if this all falls into place perfectly, this new registered option will take the place of our exclusion form, which would be wonderful because I hate that form. And half the time people don't turn them in anyways. So we will wait and see. It looks like the California Association of Realtors has to say yes to removing that form. So that would be great. So here's some other additional items that you're going to start seeing on the MLS. So days not active, which is interesting, is going to start. We're going to see all these different days. So the days in any status other than active. So active, other than active, active under contract or pending. Then we have days on market, which we're used to, the days active or active under contract without the deal closing. Days in pending is a new one, and that is the days in pending or active under contract, not in DOM, days on market. And then the new one, days listed. The listing contract date until list finalization. No days removed for any status or conditions. So that means that the DNA, days not active, plus the days on market, plus the days in pending equals the total days listed. I mean, I'm sure this is all for the sake of analyzing the numbers further. And it kind of makes sense, especially in our times right now when COVID is happening and they didn't stop days on market from ticking away because we want to see how it's affecting things. So I think, let's see. So there's some other rules that come along. So listing brokers shall not misrepresent the availability of access to show or inspect a listed property. So for any property in which the listing broker selected a status of coming soon or hold, the listing broker represents that the property shall have no showings or tours by the listing broker or otherwise until such time as the property is placed in active or active under contract. So no caravans even during that time. That's on coming soon or hold. So I'm going to send you guys all of these slide decks. There's 15 pages to it, and it just kind of goes through some of the rules that are, some of them haven't really changed, but there are fines associated with this, with these new plans. And the first fine is 1% of the list price or $500, whichever is greater, but not to exceed $2,500. And that's mostly for the sake of not putting it in to the MLS within 1 business day. That's a lot. Here's where it's going to start happening. So the rule goes into play on May 1st, but enforcement will not begin until the 4th. So you'll have a couple of days. More than likely, I imagine we're all gonna get violations if they pop up, you know, they have their scrubbers that go through, and we'll be able to fix them and not be fined at all. But after May 4th, I guess we should have learned our lesson by then, and the fines will stick. So it's not cool. What do you guys think?
I have a question, Shannon, it's Linda.
Yeah.
So if you go on a listing, like say tomorrow I go on a listing, the world's normal, and I always bring my listing paperwork, but say they don't want to start till Saturday, so the listing start date would be Saturday, then I don't have to do anything, just make sure it's in the MLS within 1 day. Correct?
So I'm not sure how we are gonna go. I think that's gonna be a registered, like you have a contract. Yeah. So I think that's a registered contract, and it won't go, because you're gonna have the listing contract date and the marketing date are 2 different things, and the marketing date is the start date. So I think you'll be a registered.
On that, okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Just a comment. I think they had a lot of time on their hands with all this going on.
You know, it's been coming for about a month now, but I don't know why. Okay, I'm guilty of this. When we log into the MLS, we have all those pop-ups that come and we just ignore. It's been popping up for about a month now. Has anybody read it? Probably not. So, I mean, I'm guilty. So I was on the MLS meeting yesterday, and I know a couple of you were also, and Art Carter was there and he didn't even talk about it, that's why I got on the meeting, because I thought he was going to talk about this specifically. But so I went and just looked up the stuff myself, and I'm sure he'll be back to talk about it in depth, hopefully before the end of the month. But if not, I wanted you to be aware, and we'll definitely talk about it again, probably before the 1st, just to remind you guys. And I'm sure everybody paid their MLS dues for 2nd quarter. So if you haven't, just a reminder about that. And that's pretty much it for me. How about you guys? Any other announcements you want to talk about? Nope. Okay.
Hey, Shannon.
All right.
Shannon,
Yeah.
it's Adrian. I just wanted to say one thing, that like, if people are going to do this contest, then they're going to be on a lot more video stuff. And,
Yep.
and so obviously we're going to have to get comfortable with that. And I just want to recommend people that if you're looking at this Zoom and you're not liking what you're seeing that you're projecting, one of the things you really need to do is move your camera up. You don't want to be showing the ceiling or looking up your nose. I mean, I used to work for a company that I was on TV, or my picture was taken all the time. So I'm aware, I'm always aware. And people laugh at me because if I pose for a picture, it looks exactly the same every time, but you just have to have that picture face. And you're gonna have to learn how to do that because all of this stuff is gonna be on videos and you gotta get comfortable with it. And you can, it's not that hard, but you know, use a selfie stick or something, but if you're using your phone, you got to get that camera up higher. It's not complimentary to look up your neck or to look up your nose, and just think about that stuff. I just want to, or do what other people are doing and turn off the video, but it's much better. It's much more personable if they can see you, and people like to see you. So I just thought I'd make that comment.
Yeah, the lighting is really important.
I totally agree. It makes me sad. I see we have 25 people on here and only about 10 of you, 11 of you have your videos turned on. And kind of the point was
the other thing to say is that some of you that look really dark, it's because you're backlit. You need to close the curtains behind you and have more light in front of your face, and then your face will show up. So, but if you don't want to show your face, then stay backlit.
Just turn off the camera. I turn off the camera if I'm good at the... Go ahead, Linda.
Jody looks so good.
She does.
She does.
Oh.
She does.
Yes, she does.
But just think about if you're taking a selfie of yourself, that's where you want the camera. It doesn't need to be all the way up high, but I even put my laptop up on my where my monitor normally is, just because when I have it down low, I noticed I was like looking down on everybody, and I didn't like my double chin.
Yeah. Yeah. And I that's what I do. My laptop is sitting on a container. It's raised up high. And otherwise it just looks funny.
I just did that today, not really for videos, but because I was finding that I was hunching over all the time, looking down at my keyboard and stuff and looking up, and my neck was starting to bother me because I'm spending so much time on my laptop. So I just put it on 4 little boxes, so it's raised up about 2.5, 3 inches from where it was before, and it's helped a lot just today in this meeting. So big thing.
For sure. I mean, I was at the front desk for a half a day. I forgot my laptop on Monday, and so I was using Yvette's computer for half a day, and because the monitor's so low, I had a neck ache like within an hour. So definitely help yourself out and do what Veronica just lifted up on a couple of boxes if you have to. Nobody else is going to see what you're seeing on your side. Anything else? Hi, Francesca.
Like
now we get to see you.
That backdrop looks really good. Like Adrian's got.
I'm sorry.
And that's real easy to do. There, under the picture thing, it tells you, you can change your background and put in a virtual background.
And I love it. I will say, when we're at the association meetings live, like we all introduce ourselves and we say where we're from, but now that we've been on these virtual meetings, nobody introduces themselves. Half of the people are dark with no photos. So I love that, you have the background there. And I was considering going to the front desk just so the Berkshire Hathaway sign behind me would show up, because I'm like, they can see my name, but they don't know where I'm from, except for the people that see me every week. So I think
that's the other thing is that, look at what your name says, like Caprice, you can edit what yours says. And so it says your name, not C Fisher 608. Because Adam's used to say mine because he has an old computer of mine that he's using, but he edited it. You gotta look at all that. It's a lot of junk, but you gotta look at it.
Yeah. Like Mary Ann's only part of her name. So, all right. A lot of people have asked me about the book club. I am down to the last few pages. I just love this book. So we're I really want to wait until we can meet live, but I have a feeling we're going to be on lockdown for another 3 or 4 weeks. So maybe by next week we'll take a vote as to should we get another book going or not. Anybody else finish the book?
I did.
Who's
It's
reading?
so good.
You
Didn't
did? You
you
finished
love
it?
I finished it. I haven't read a book in like 2 years, and I finished it in like 2 days.
Oh, my God.
Well, I finished it too. It's excellent. That was a great choice.
I'd like to borrow somebody's book when they're done.
Mine on my cell phone. Mine's all digital because it's whatever device is in my hand, I'm turning it on to read it. So it has to be that way. I cannot carry a book to save my life.
Yeah, mine's on iBooks, so it's it's Audible.
I
Okay,
already
so-
gave mine away, but you can get it on Amazon. I think it was like $16.
That's where I got mine from. Yeah, okay, we'll give it another week for everybody else to catch up if they're still reading or just ordering their book. I think that Kelly said she was going to order the book yesterday, so we'll see if she gets into it as much as we all did, but it's very good. And then we'll, if we have to, we'll do a Zoom book club meeting again, and then we'll have somebody else pick a new book. So we'll kind of go from there. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
I miss seeing everybody's face in real person all together.
I miss everybody too.
But this is really good, Shannon. You're doing a great job with these meetings.
Thank you. I'm here for you guys. Like I said, if you, I know a couple of you said, hey, can you just scan me this or can you do this for me? I'm in the office. So if you want to call me or meet with me on Zoom, or you need to pop in the office or you need me to check your mailbox or something, please call me, text me, email me, Zoom me. How many more electronic leashes could I have? I don't know. I'm sure we'll figure one more out, right? So, okay, you guys. And you guys have a wonderful week, and reach out to me if you need any help.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you,
Shannon.
Bye.
Bye.
Just everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for letting me